day. So many years not right today. Why am I so uptight today? Paranoia is all I got left. I don't know what stressed me first, how the pressure was fed, but I know just what it feels like. A voice in the back of my head, but the face that I hold inside, face that I face when I close my eyes, face that I watch every time I lie.
Alrighty, everybody. So as promised, we're back.
Yes, we are.
Talk about Nebraska football now, specifically Nebraska football, nothing else. Live, uncut, ready to go. We're excited for one. Nebraska won. So cheers to that. Cheers to that. A drink to that too. So Nebraska won 27-17. People can breathe a little bit after this week. Going into next week, start breathing a little bit harder. We do have another Big Ten matchup at Illinois, so we're playing away this week, on Friday night.
It's kind of weird.
So, beginning of the game yesterday, one of the first things I said was, obviously we got off to a bad start. We started off down. We were losing the game.
Yeah.
And everyone's, I mean, to me, I don't know how people could really be sitting there saying, wow, is this for real?
Is this really what
was it? 14-0?
No.
10-0. Sorry, 10-0.
Yeah.
They got a field goal, and then they had a pick six. So we had a bad start to the game. I mean, it was really just, piss poor start to the game. Offensively, our defense was fine. Our defense didn't even have a chance to play, they had 2 touchdowns.
No, they got their pick six to start the second half. At the start of the second half.
Okay.
It was just one of these games where, in years past, like you see Rutgers on the schedule, and you're like, we're going to beat them by at least 35 points. Well, after this last week, with obviously the firing of Sean Eichhorst, which was
I think it's
long
a good
overdue.
choice. Yeah.
Yes, agreed.
And not just because of what happened with Bo. I mean, that was, I think, handled improperly. Whether it was the right decision or not, you guys be the judge for yourself.
Well, yeah.
I think it's the way it was handled, the way it was done was.
And
he
was so mad when we came back and beat Iowa that year, because he knew he was gonna fire Bo the next day. We came back and beat him.
Yeah.
And then he still fired him. And whatever. Regardless. Yeah, we didn't get a great start.
Yeah, they went up 7-0.
Yeah, no, they went up 7-0. We tied it. That's right. Because Tannerly had 30 yards of green grass in front of him to run for a touchdown with nobody there, and he threw it, which was fine because we still scored.
Yeah.
But
then we went down 10-7. We ended up going up 14-10.
That's what it was. It was 14-10 and a half. We came out and threw the pick six. Start of the second half.
Yeah.
Had to claw our way back.
Maybe we had to have a few drinks first and then continue watching the game.
Yeah.
It was just, as a Husker fan, you have so much passion out for your team, and as any true fan would for their team. You have so much passion, and you see how much talent we have on our team,
right?
And you don't even Tanner Lee, you are a talented quarterback. It's not that you are a bad quarterback, but your stats show otherwise. Your stats from Tulane and then coming to Nebraska, your stats show that you are not a talented quarterback. But you have no confidence right now.
And it's a lot of people have been saying this too this week, that Mike Riley's a 500 coach at Oregon State, and pretty much his whole career. So I'm not really sure what we were expecting when he came here.
Well, you can't expect the world.
You can't.
Yeah, we're in year 3.
Right.
And I think in year 3, we could probably expect a little bit more than what we're seeing.
Absolutely. And I've thought this since he came in with Langsdorff, that Langsdorff, his play calling is just not. It's not Nebraska football.
No.
If that makes sense. They 3rd and 3 to 3rd and 6. And you throw a 30-yard pass. This isn't the NFL.
That was Tim Beck, though. Tim Beck did that a few years ago. Tim Beck would throw 40, 50-yard passes, or try to throw those passes with Tommy Armstrong, and it didn't work out for us. And Langsdorff is trying to make those play calls again where, hey, we're at 2nd, 3rd and 3, and we're going to pull back. And I'm sorry, Tanner Lee he's a good quarterback, and I might get shot in the foot for saying that, but he's been overthrowing. He's not accurate on those long throws.
Right.
But he is accurate on the short routes.
And I know the
more
offensive
accurate.
line is in shambles, and we've played all these true freshmen and throwing guys in there, whatever. But at least one thing was they figured out that we could run the ball. And they figured out that Divine Azigbo can actually run the ball if you give it to him.
So it's pretty amazing. So it is pretty amazing. So the fans figured out a long time ago.
We've talked about it
for years and years and years that Nebraska run the ball. We've always had the running backs do it. We always have. We haven't had the coaches that have faith in doing it. So once again, 2nd and 3, 3rd and 3, and we're throwing a 30-yard pass. I don't get it. I never have. I never understand it. But Divine Azigbo, I mean, my God. But the first time they brought him in, what did they do? They ran the ball, 8 yards. Second time, they stop him. 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, 30-yard pass downfield. And we turn the ball over at the punt. So, I mean, that's where the coaching has to really sit back and not only look at film, but look at their play calling. So what do we do to improve ourselves? What do we do moving forward to improve ourselves on those 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3 plays when you see that the run game is working? Dude, we got a fullback that can get in there and block. He's done it this year, and he's good. But we're not throwing him in there to block.
Well, and two,
Not on
if
the
you
run.
just keep running the ball, then obviously that's going to open up some play action.
Yeah.
To where if it is 3rd and 3, and the last 2 3rd and 3s we've pounded it down your throat, maybe you can do a play action and get somebody on like a 5-yard pass that ends up having all kinds of room to run.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
at least we figured out that the Divine Azigbo should be playing.
Well, and we did get to see Bradley play yesterday a couple plays.
Yeah.
Not a ton of yards, but he got a few yards, and actually, didn't look terrible. I mean, he was able to play just fine. He had a few yards up the middle. I think he's one of our faster backs.
Look who's back.
He's one of our faster backs, and we didn't have Trey Bryant yesterday.
Yeah.
And Trey Bryant's our outside runner. So we have Wilbon and we have Azigbo, and Wilbon and Azigbo, both good running backs, but they're not the speedsters to get around to the outside.
Yeah.
So I mean, to me, that's what we missed yesterday. Azigbo, he's not going to run and beat people to the corner, but he can pound through people, and we saw that on that 2nd and 2 I was talking about after he ran for 8 yards. I think he ended up losing a yard because he's not going to beat anybody to the outside.
Well, and unfortunately, since Trey Bryant was out last week and this week, I think if he plays last week and this week, I see us pulling out wins. I mean, I see us pulling a win out last week, and I see us winning by more than 10 points this week.
But Azigbo comes back and he had 24 rushes for 101 yards.
Yeah, he had a great game.
But and we could do a dual back system, whether it's Bradley if Bryant's not back, we can still have Bradley out there. And Bradley, Azigbo, we can have a 3 running back. That's fine. Guess what? Put our fullback in, whatever we need to do, run that diamond formation.
Mm-hmm.
That diamond formation you don't see very often in college football anymore. The Huskers have done it in the past, and they've been very successful with it. They were successful with it when Tommy was here.
Yeah.
And I want to see it again. I want Langsdorf to show, hey, I'm an offensive coordinator. I'm going to pull out all the stops. We're doing a diamond formation.
You can even do that and bring Spielman on all kinds of things.
Yeah, I mean, you got Spielman, you got Pearsonell, you got Stanley Morgan, who was still hurt. So
yeah, he suited up, but
I
figured he wasn't going to play.
If he wasn't 100%, no use in playing him.
No.
But I think
some other guys stepped up and in place of him.
Yeah, but I think yesterday what we saw working was the run game.
Right.
100 yards on the ground for Azigbo. Wilbon had some really good runs. I just think that was key to that win. We also had Tanner Lee. He threw for 50%. Obviously, 13 to 26, not very strong showing.
2 interceptions, pick 6.
2 interceptions, one of them pick 6. He's got 3 or 4 pick 6s this year. He's got 9 interceptions, 8 touchdowns, or 9 and 9, whatever he might be now. It's not impressive. Husker fans know this, but as a coaching staff, what are you not seeing that? I mean, we need to run the ball more.
Well, and luckily we did, towards the end of the game.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I know a lot of people were saying, is Tanner that much better than what we have behind him to where we can't even put one of those guys in there and give him a shot? Throw Patrick O'Brien in there. Is there that much of a gap between the two? if you're gonna do it, maybe do it in a game like Rutgers.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think I said it, and we were losing at the point, so I think I said it 3 or 4 times just on Two Average Guys Facebook page is take Tanner Lee out.
Yeah.
The dude is losing confidence
Right.
the worse he plays.
And they're against the worst teams we're going to see all year.
And sometimes, you play
so
the guy.
We start playing these Penn States and Ohio States, Wisconsin. Yeah. They're going to kill him.
Well, and sometimes you keep the quarterback in to help him gain his confidence back.
Right.
But he was playing that bad. He was that inconsistent. He was overthrowing receivers. He was underthrowing receivers, throwing it behind him. I mean, we got lucky. He could have thrown three or four picks in that game easy. But for one, they missed one of the picks that they should have caught. And then there's a couple other plays that were thrown behind our receiver that we just got lucky.
Well, and we got lucky a few times on defense. They had some drops. They had some guys wide open dropping balls.
They did. And kudos to our defense. I mean, really, our defense.
They did play pretty.
Now we're not playing a top offense in the country.
Right.
But when you have to step up and play, they did. I mean, that was really.
We did have.
We gave up 10 points.
Williams get ejected.
Yeah. Williams got ejected on the first or second possession for the Rutgers, and really, I don't know. Like, I wish they would let the refs make the call on the actual field rather than letting the booth buzz down. That was the booth. That was not the refs.
And the same thing happened in the Florida State, NC State game.
Yeah. So I don't know.
No flag on the field, but then they buzzed down and.
Yeah.
Actually, it was on that one. My dad made him.
Oh yeah, there you go.
On
there
TV,
you go.
So
I think that you got to look at the play itself. It wasn't a malicious hit, but it was with the crown of the helmet. So by rule, I agree with the call. But you still have to look at the consistency across the league. They define the targeting as on a defenseless player or with the crown of the helmet. Well, look at how many times someone's running the ball. A rusher, even a receiver, when they're running the ball, look how much head-to-head contact you get. And at that point,
because most guys will go like this.
At that point, he was no longer a receiver; he was a runner because he caught the ball and he took a couple steps before he got hit. I thought it was a good hit. I didn't think it was malicious. But one thing that guys need to learn on defensively, they're like, how are they supposed to hit? What are they supposed to do? Well, hit him at the chest or lower. I mean, it really isn't that hard of a concept. You have to. I think as a player, always go for the legs. I mean, if nothing else, go for the legs and you're going to be safe. So, I mean, it sucks. It's unfortunate. I wish it didn't happen.
It was in the first half, so he was out the whole game, so he doesn't have to miss any time next week.
It didn't hurt us. Next week. The rest of the game, really, it didn't hurt us at all.
No.
We have, I think Rutgers probably could have passed the ball more. I think they could have, they did have some drop passes, but I think they could have picked us apart just like any team on defense or on offense. Because of the way our defense plays soft on the cover. So, Diaco, I mean, we want our defense to actually play pretty good, but when you go up against the teams we have coming up after Illinois, we can't have soft covers like that. We're going to get destroyed.
Yeah, I mean, even when we play Wisconsin the following week.
We may not get beat deep, but we'll get beat short, and that's where we're getting killed, is those short passes across the field. Then we're 5-6 yards still before we tackle a guy. It's a first down on a 5-yard route every time.
If you get them in stride, then you're chasing them 10 yards down the field, and they're getting 20 yards a pop.
Yeah, and Rutgers did that a couple times yesterday, where they were moving the ball down.
And they did it right off the bat. I'm kind of surprised they went away from it. I was reading a few things that said, Jared Kill is the offensive coordinator there.
That's right.
And he's a former coach at Minnesota. And they said he really changed up his game plan. Not really sure why. If they would have just stuck with that, they could have probably put some more points up against us and put the pressure on us a little bit more.
Well, and really, I mean, for the first time this year, 4 games, but first time this year, Nebraska changed their game plan.
Right.
Offensively, we started to run the ball more.
Right.
I mean, by golly, look at what happens when you actually change your game up. And I said at the beginning of the game, if we were to have lost yesterday, do you think, I have my own thoughts, but do you think that Mike Riley and staff what would happen?
That was what I texted you. I said, if we lose today, do we fire Riley? And you said, yeah. And I said, yeah, that's what I thought too.
Whether it's the right call or not, it was going to happen. It would have. I mean, you 1-3 season to start at Nebraska, maybe the only reason why he wouldn't have gotten fired is because we just gave him a contract extension. That's the only thing I can think of why they would have kept him on. But I mean, if we go 1-3 to start the season and we lost to Rutgers, we got destroyed by Oregon.
I mean, we got Illinois this week that we're gonna need to. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to take care of Illinois this week, and then we got a pretty tough uphill battle the rest of the season because every team on the schedule is gonna be. I mean, if you struggle with the teams that we have so far this year, I mean.
Yeah, we have a tough road. I mean, and I don't know. We have to be smart on offense and realize that hey, these 30-yard passes aren't working. Tanner Lee can hit those 5-7-yard passes, but we don't do them nearly enough. We're not doing any sort of screens. We brought a little bit more pressure on defense yesterday. We had a few more blitzes. I liked it. We had some good hits.
It did open up them to make some but that's how football is. You bring some heat, and guys got to make plays.
Yeah, not all quarterbacks are going to make those plays. I mean, it was Rutgers.
When we say that some of those guys had drops, yes, they probably should have caught them. But you also don't know, when you're bringing heat and bringing pressure, quarterback throws it a little earlier than than he wants to, throws the receiver off a little bit. So yeah, he's wide open, but. Yeah. Keep bringing the heat. I like it.
But we had some tight ends that got involved in the pass game yesterday.
Yeah.
And a couple times they dropped the ball. But really, Spielman had a good game. He had 46 yards and a TD. Pearsonell finally showed up on the punt return.
Yeah, and that kind of sparked us for the rest of the game. That was probably the turning point of the game.
It really was. I mean, he had a huge return, almost for a touchdown. He came inside.
Almost got tackled at
the 4 or 5 yard line.
Yeah, so he almost got tackled back at the 25 or 30 yard line where he caught it. Didn't have much room, but once he started going, I was like, he's gone because that was him from a few years back when he was a freshman.
Yep.
He just sidestepped somebody and he was gone. And he got drugged down, but we still ended up punching it in.
Yeah, I think I think we showed something yesterday that we haven't seen in the past few weeks. I think we still have a lot more to show as a team because Nebraska has. I've said it before. I can't remember if I said it on the show, but you look at our wide receivers and our tight ends. We have by far the best core of wide receivers, including our tight ends, in the country. As far as talent goes, nobody, and if you want to challenge me on this, I dare you to. Nobody has a Stanley Morgan, a Spielman, a Lindsey, a Pearsonell, and then 3 tight ends that we can go to. Nobody has 7, 8 players on their team that they can throw.
It's not like these guys don't want to win. They want to win.
Yeah, they're college kids. Of course they want to win. Yes. They don't want to lose. And they're playing hard. It is nothing against how hard they're playing. We just haven't shown it yet. And I think there's talent there. I think the drive is there. It's just I think coaching can help a lot. Right. I think the drive for the coaches is just as big as needs to be just as big as the drive for the students and the kids.
Yeah.
I mean, they want to win. They don't want to be booed out of the stadium. They don't want that kind of stuff to happen. Yesterday, I talked to a couple people at the game. I said, "What were the fans like when we were losing? When it was 7-0, then 10-7. They had the pick 6. And what was the feel in the stadium? You know what I got for a response? It was loud. Everybody was there. Nobody left.
Well,
people don't leave Nebraska
I know,
games,
and they did
unless
show
you're Jimmy with some friends that don't really know what they're doing. Real non-Nebraska fans, apparently.
Yeah.
But you don't leave a game early. And Nebraska fans, we will not sell out a home game.
People were saying, oh, man, it's probably going to be dead there this weekend because we lost at home to Northern Illinois last week. And are people really going to go to the game? Yes, people love Nebraska football. They're going to go.
We bleed Husker red. We live and die by the code.
Yes.
And the deed, the glory.
I mean, you only get a certain number of games, so home games. So
and when you're a Husker fan, you're a Husker fan for life.
And it is loud. It's crazy. There's nothing like it.
Yeah. But I just heard, I asked him, after the pick 6, what happened? He goes, people weren't happy, but guess what? They got louder. So all they did was they tried to pump up the team on the sideline. They are trying to get into our own players' heads.
Trying to help.
That, hey, your fans are behind you still, win or lose. We bitch and moan every week about Nebraska football.
Yeah.
That's what we do because we love our team and we have stuff to bitch and moan about.
We were the best for a long time. When we were kids, we were the best.
But at the end of the day,
we want that again.
At the end of the day, we understand these are kids. We're quite a bit older than most of these kids that are playing football.
That's true.
And I only played football for 2 years. But
I only played football for 3 years.
but watching the game from home is different than being there in person. But I want our coaches to see that when they're sitting up in the booth, you should be able to see what we're seeing on TV. It's a very similar view. When you're sitting on the sideline, when you're watching film, you should be able to see what we're seeing as far as misses and as far as opportunities. And it's your job as a coach to develop these kids into the amount of talent that they have on and off the field into something more than just a football player. And I think our team has it. And I think we're going to continue to move forward, whether we have a good year or not. I mean,
yeah,
Riley,
it's going to be interesting to see, depending on how this season goes, whether we keep Riley around.
Against Illinois, I still think Riley's on the hot seat every week.
If we beat Illinois, but then how many more games after that are we going to win?
Yeah, I mean, let's be real, Husker fans, and let's be real about it. We got some tough games ahead, and it's going to be really hard to. If we beat Illinois, great. We got 3 wins on the season, but maybe one.
That would be 2 wins against conference teams that are, let's face it, the worst 2 teams in the conference.
Yeah.
So
I'm not very hopeful. I love our team. And I'm not very hopeful. I like to be realistic about it. Love our team. Love the guys on the team. Not a huge fan of any of the coaches, including Riley. I think we still have a lot to prove this year. I think we have what it takes to prove it. It's just putting all the pieces together and showing the world and showing college football, all the fans out there, that Nebraska's not a joke. I mean, we lost to Northern Illinois and Oregon, but we got a lot to prove this year.
Last year we were ranked in the top 10, if you remember. We were ranked 8th, and we lost in double overtime to Wisconsin. And then we were still in the top 10.
That was last year?
Yes.
Man, time flies.
Yes. So we just got to get it together. I don't know if this is the right coaching staff to do it. Probably not.
But you get rid of the coaching staff, you start fresh.
Exactly.
That's one of the worst things you can probably do.
Exactly. So, Scott Frost, get it together, bro. No.
Florida did have a win yesterday.
They went into Maryland and beat them up.
Yeah, Maryland
beat Texas. So, just saying.
Just saying.
No, I don't know what's going to happen necessarily with the coaching situation, but let's just take it week by week and try to string together some wins.
That's what he does. String together some wins, some good days in a row. I mean, that's a good day today. So he's happy, he's drooling.
Yeah.
My computer died, so if you're asking questions or responding to anything, I'm sorry, my computer's dead. But really, I mean, I think Nebraska showed yesterday some resilience. After that pick 6, Tanner Lee came back out. I'm yelling for his head. Put Patty O'Brien in. Give Jebbia a chance. I mean, give somebody a second. Somebody a chance. And someone replied to me and said, it can only get worse. I said, well, it can't get much worse than when you're losing to Rutgers, who hasn't beaten hasn't had a conference win in 14 straight games. You don't want to be the team that loses that game. So I didn't want to be the team that lost that game, and I think Patty O'Brien and Jebbia, there's no way that there's not someone else out there to give us that chance. And Tanner Lee stayed in the game. Whether it was the right decision or not, he stayed in the game, and he came out. Hopefully he built some confidence. The team believes in him. He's a captain. They believe in his leadership. They believe in what he can do on and off the field as a leader for that team. And that's really all you can ask for. You want a leader out there.
Keep asking him to hand the ball off.
Yeah, he's really good at handing the ball off. So, really, I mean, Huskers, you got a lot to prove this year still. You have the talent.
I hope we can figure something out and string together some wins.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe make a push in the West.
Yeah, I mean, even have an upset somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, one upset is all it takes to keep Riley and his staff on staff, and one upset is all it takes for people to not think Nebraska's a laughing stock of the Big Ten. Minus the teams they don't care about, like Rutgers, Illinois, and really Purdue. No one's really cared about those teams in a long time. So I think Nebraska, you got your fans. Your fan base is behind you.
Right.
2 average guys, Jimmy and I, we're behind you. We believe in you.
Red till dead, baby.
Even if we don't think you're going to win more than 4 games this year, we believe in you. And we're always going to be fans. We're always going to bleed red. We're always going to cheer you on. We're always going to bitch and moan when we lose and don't play well. That's just part of being a sports fan, and that's what we do. Cornhusker Nation, I know you're the same way. We're going to bitch and moan. We're going to throw out stats like the fun fact of Tanner Lee having more interceptions than touchdowns. At one point, he was, I think, 30 and 29. So 30 interceptions, 29 touchdowns, including Tulane, where he was at Tulane. People thought he was a saving grace coming here. He was the replacement for Armstrong, going to be the best thing in the world. But once again, we saw yesterday, you mentioned he had 30 yards to run, 20 yards, whatever it was, that pass to Spielman. 15, 20 yards to run, and instead of pulling it down and running, he's going to throw that ball. He's not going to run the ball.
He's not.
The fact that he rolled out of the pocket.
He can't move.
The fact that he rolled out of the pocket, even considered running the ball, was pretty incredible. But Nebraska is not a pocket quarterback offense. So Tanner Lee and coaching is going to have to adjust to that West Coast offense of a 50-50 run and pass game.
See, and that's why I think I'm excited for Jebbia, because I think Jebbia can run.
Yeah. So I think Patty O'Brien's more of a pocket passer, too. I don't know if he's much of a runner.
I think he can run a little bit, but I think Jebbia can run. And then
he showed it in high school, yeah.
So, depending on how they're going to use him or what happens, coaching staff,
yeah.
I do kind of want him to redshirt so that we can have him for 4 years.
Yeah, we'll see.
But,
it's all up in the air right now. There's so many things left, unknown for the Huskers this year.
Or put him in and let's try to win a bunch of games this year.
Yeah, like I said, Huskers, you got your fans behind you.
Yeah.
Your fans aren't going anywhere. We believe in you. We wholeheartedly will watch you until we're blue in the face, red in the face, whatever that color might be. We'll watch you till the end of the game. We're not going to switch channels and not watch the end of the game.
No.
If we're at the game, we're going to stay there till the end of the game. We're fans and we bleed Husker red, scarlet and cream all day, every day, baby. That's what it's all about, is being a fan.
And there's only a few games on Friday night, so might have some eyes on you, and you're gonna need to play well.
Yeah, enjoy the game. Get together with your friends on Friday night. Cheer the Huskers on. If we lose, guess what? Get back up the next week. Cheer Huskers on again. Cry, bitch, moan, drink, whatever you do to drown your sorrows if the Huskers do lose. But I think they're gonna win. I think they're gonna win in Illinois. They're gonna make a statement and say that we didn't have the best start to the season, being 1-2, but we're gonna come out. We're gonna go above 500 now. We're gonna be 3-2 after beating Illinois. And we're going to have 2-0.
And we're going to have Wisconsin and Ohio State, and we're going to get pumped up and play our 2 best games of the season.
See, optimism. That's what Husker fans are all about. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I don't got anything else. You got anything else to add?
I don't think so. Let's just go take care of Illinois this week.
Let's take care of business. Let's do it, boys. We got it. Enjoy your NFL Sunday if you're watching NFL.
Yeah.
William here he's not feeling the best, but he likes chewing on stuff, so... I'm glad he got to join us for part of the show.
Yeah.
He'll probably be back for a few more shows. Next time I'll get him in some Husker gear instead of in blue and navy, although he does look good no matter what. Just like his dad and his uncle, or his dad's cousin. So glad you joined us today. Like I said, if you guys comment on anything, we will comment back. My computer died. We'll get back to you here in a little bit. Hope you enjoyed the show. No music to end the show today because, once again, the computer died.
Sorry.
Jimmy can start singing, or William. William's got a pretty good voice. Sang at church today, so hope you guys enjoyed. Cornhusker Nation, 2 average guys coming back at you again next week. Go Big Red. Once again, we bleed scarlet and cream, so go Huskers.
See you next week.
Thanks for joining in, guys.